Oh, hey, what's up? I'm Todd from websitesmadesimple.org, and I'm just cleaning up the garage here a bit, but as soon as I'm done, I'm going to go inside and show you exactly how to make an amazing WordPress website. And the best thing is, it'll look good on any device. So stick around, you don't want to miss it. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to make a website on your own. And it doesn't matter if you don't have any technical ability, you don't need any kind of special design skills or anything like that. All you have to do is follow along and you'll end up with a website that looks exactly like this. So this is just the home page we'll take a look at now, but we'll get into some of these other pages later. But this is exactly what your website will look like when we're finished. So here's the great thing about this. First of all, everything's going to be point and click. So if you can use a mouse, you can create that website we just took a look at. No coding, no special design. You don't have to do any of that. Just follow along and use your mouse. The next thing is we're going to do it in less than 30 minutes. Now that may seem like a short amount of time to you, but we have a couple different things that we're going to do that will speed the process up, and we'll be able to create that exact website with all the text and images in there and everything in less than 30 minutes. So, and then the third thing is it's going to cost less than $10 a month. And the reason it's going to be so cheap is because we're going to build it on the WordPress platform. And you may have heard of WordPress before. It's a very popular, well-known platform around the world. And here are just a few notable WordPress users: the New York Times, CNN, and Forbes. A few different music artists here, the Rolling Stones, Jay-Z and Katy Perry, and we can scroll down here and look at even Fortune 500 companies use WordPress: GM, UPS, eBay, Sony, and Volkswagen. These guys all use WordPress and rely on WordPress on a daily basis. So as you can see, you'll be in very good company, along with the 65 million other people who download WordPress and use it on a daily basis. So if you're going to go through the trouble of learning how to make a website, you probably want to know what that website is going to look like before you get started. So let's take a look in more detail what the website will have. The first thing is you'll have a home page with a call to action. CTA is just an acronym for call to action. And if you might be wondering what a call to action is, basically you're asking your visitor to do something. To take an action when they come to your site. That's what this button is here. This whole box is kind of a call to action box. You have your product or service shot here on the right, your main headline here, and then a sub-headline, and you can put a little description down here. But that's a call to action box, and this is a call to action button. So that's what you'll have on your home page. And then the next thing you'll have is a blog page for new posts. So this is where anytime you create a new post, it will be listed at the top of this page, and you'll see that you'll have the featured photo there, as well as an excerpt from the post down below that, and then a read more link. And you can set it to how many ever number of posts you want it to show here. Say if you want 10, you can set it to show the 10 most recent posts. And you can see we have a nice sidebar here with an about the author widget in there, and a newsletter widget in there, popular posts widget in there, and categories. So that sidebar looks really nice as well. The next thing you'll have is a gallery page for images, and let's take a look what that will look like. And this is what your gallery page will look like. So if you click on one of these images, it will expand that, and then you can thumb through the other images like this, and you should just click here or click the X, it'll close it. That's what your gallery page will look like. And then next you'll have an about page for the author. So if you don't know, normally the home page is the first most visited page on the website, and the about page is the second most visited page. So this is a very important page, and you'll want to put information about yourself here on this page, about the author page, so, or about the website. And then last you'll have a contact page with a form. So let's see what that'll look like here. We've got a form where they can fill in their name, address, email address, the subject, and their message to you. And then there's a CAPTCHA here that they have to fill out that keeps spammers away. That's a nice added feature with this contact form. And we'll also put a different sidebar here on the contact page. It'll have a map. If you're a business or something like that, you can use this to show people how to get to you. So we'll put a Google map in there as well. And then last but not least, the website will be fully responsive. So if you don't know what that means, basically it means it'll look good on any device. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, if you're running an Android, if you have an Android phone, even a PC, a Mac, anything you're viewing this website on, it will look good no matter what resolution it's displayed at. So let's bring it in here a little bit. You can see it still looks good there. Everything's shrinking in. The menu comes down and shrinks. You can see you can still use the menu here. We can go to the blog, and everything still looks good. So this is really important because it's estimated that by the year 2000, by the end of this year, and maybe sometime next year, they're not sure, but 50% of all traffic on the internet will be coming from mobile devices. So it's really important now more than ever to have a website that's mobile ready, and your website will have that functionality. And that's it. This is what your website will look like exactly when we're finished building it. Okay, I think we're pretty much ready to get started now. But before we do, let's look at the 3 simple steps that we're going to take as I show you how to make a website. The first one is we're going to get a domain and hosting, and that's very straightforward. It's just signing up for the service. It takes a couple minutes. The second step is we're going to install WordPress and a few plugins. Now WordPress, literally we can install that with 1 click, and the plugins take maybe 3 clicks or something like that. So all point and click, very easy to do. The third step is we're going to configure a theme and some plugins. Now this takes a little bit longer, but it's still all point and click, so you don't have to worry about any technical parts there. So really all 3 steps are very simple, and that's it. All I have to do is follow along. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the very first step if you're going to build a website is to get a domain and hosting, and we're going to use HostGator for both of those things. And the domain itself is going to cost $12.95 per year, and the hosting cost will be $8.95 per month. So not too expensive at all, as you can see there. And the great thing about it is you can get the first month for 1 penny just by going to this address here, websitesmadesimple.org/1 cent. And that's my website, and it'll bring you to this page. It'll redirect you here, and this is the sign up page for registering a new domain and for signing up for web hosting. And all you have to do is put the domain that you want to register in here if you're registering a new domain. If you already have one, go ahead and click this and then put your domain in there. And then you want to scroll down here and select your package type. Now there are basically 2 different package types we can select from here. The first one is the hatchling, and that's for basically just 1 domain under the account. The baby plan will give you unlimited domains under that account. It's $1 more per month, so I would recommend starting with the hatchling, and then you can upgrade later if you need to. And then moving down here, just choose your username and your security PIN. And in the billing information section, you can choose PayPal or credit card, whichever works best for you there. And then in the hosting add-ons down here, make sure that you deselect all of these because you don't really need them. And then let's move down here and enter 1 cent. I'm just going to make sure it's all caps. And then click the validate button, and it should validate that for you. And one thing to make note of here, if you're paying for 6 months or more in advance, you want to use a different coupon. Use 25% in there, so 25 PERCENT, and that'll give you a better value than this 1 cent coupon. And then move down here, check your total, $12.96 if you have a domain. If you have your own domain, it should just be 1 cent. Make sure you click that you've read the terms and conditions, and then click on create an account. And I'm not going to walk you through the billing process because I just have to blur that out, but it's pretty straightforward. And then after you finish with the registration process, they'll send you an email. You just need to retrieve that email, and you'll be ready for the next step. Moving right along, this is step 2 in the process of learning how to make a website. And in this step, we're going to install WordPress and some plugins. Now, like I said before, WordPress can be installed with 1 click, and the plugins take about 3 clicks each. And then after we're finished with that, we're going to set up WordPress and the plugins. We're going to configure them a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and retrieve that email that was sent to you after you finished registering. Your username and password should be right in there. And then you need this link down here. It says you can log into your cPanel there. Go ahead and click on that, enter your username and password here, and then click on the login button. And oops, it wants me to log in here. And then after you log in, it will, this is your control panel here for your web server. So there are a lot of different little programs here that help you control your server and do different things, but all we need to do is scroll down here to the software and services section down here and click on quick install, and then find WordPress over here on the left hand side and click on that, and then click on the continue button and it'll take you here. And select your domain if it's not already selected in this drop down menu there. Fill out your information here, the email address that you want to use, the title of your blog, the admin username. You can put admin or your own name in there, whichever you like, and then your first and last name, and then click on the install now button. And it'll give you a little progress bar here to let you know how it's going. And doesn't take too long, and then you should see the congratulations message here, and that means you're completely done. So before you do anything else, you'll see here you've got a username and a password that they're giving to you. The username is the one you chose up above, and this password, that's generated automatically. You want to copy that, write it down somewhere if you need to, and then we're going to click on this link here, which is going to take us to our admin area or our dashboard. So enter your username and then the password. I'm just going to paste mine in there, and then click on login. And the first thing we want to do, this is the back end to your website, so this is what your dashboard looks like for WordPress. And the very first thing we want to do is go to users and your profile, and we want to find the place where we can change your password. So we want to put a new password in here, one that we can remember, not one that they gave to us. And then after you've entered that, click update profile, and then you're ready to go. Now you don't have to remember that password. You can get rid of it and use your own password. And the next thing we're going to do is install some plugins. Now, like I said, installing plugins is really simple, but we've got about 6 different plugins that we want to install, and it takes a little bit of time. So we're going to do a shortcut and go over here to the plugins and then add new. And anytime you want to add a plugin, this is the way you do it. You can search for the plugin here. We're going to search for one called Plugin Central. Just click the search button, and you can see it comes up here. It's the first one, and you can look at the details by clicking on that. It'll tell you, give you a little description of it there. It'll tell you how to install it, give you a screenshot, and you can see the ratings here. It'll give you a good idea of whether this is a good plugin or not that you want to install. We need this one and we know it's good, so we're going to go ahead and click on install now, and that's actually 1 click, and then activate plugin is 2 clicks, so that was pretty easy. I said it was 3, but it looks like it's actually 2 clicks for a plugin. And then we're going to find Plugin Central over here on the left and click on that, and we have a little field here where we can paste all of the names of each plugin that we want to install. So I've got those here in a little notepad window, and I'm just going to copy those. You can pause the video and copy them yourself, or I'll put them in the resources section down below. But either way, you can get those and copy and paste those in there, and then click on install plugins, and it should go through and install each one. And you can see that it doesn't activate them automatically. So let's go back here to installed plugins on the left, and what we want to do is go down to all 6 of the ones that we've just installed there, and we want to activate those. So let's click on, that should be it. And then down here, the bulk actions, click on activate and then apply. And that should do it. There's a little warning message up here. Just click on disable vCETA. I don't know what that means, but we don't need it. And that takes us to this plugin page. We'll just go back to installed plugins because we want to deactivate a couple there. First is the plugin central that we just installed, and then WP Supercache down here. Just check those two, and then for bulk actions, click deactivate and then apply, and that will deactivate those. And if you wanted to, you could even delete them. So if you want to get rid of those two along with Hello Dolly and this Jetpack by WordPress, you probably won't use those. Just click on those and you can select delete and then apply, and it will ask you if you're sure you want to delete all of those. Just go ahead and say yes, delete these files and data, and there you go. You've got all the plugins you need. We'll leave this one in there. You might use that. That's for helping control spam, so you can look into that and you might use that later. And finally, to finish up step number 2, let's configure WordPress a little bit along with a couple of plugins. So first, let's go up here to posts, and if you just click on posts, you'll see that WordPress has a post in here already. Let's just go ahead and trash that because we want to put our own posts in there. Do the same with pages. There should be a page there. Go ahead and click on trash. And then next we want to come down here to settings and permalinks. And under permalinks, the default setting will be, you can see there's like a number at the end here. What we want to do is change that to make it look really nice so that when you write a post, it puts the name of the post at the end of the URL. So it's also good for SEO purposes. So make sure to click on or select post name here, and the format will change there, and just click on save changes. And then after you've done that, let's go up here to appearance and menus. And what we're going to do is create a menu. So go ahead and choose a menu name. I just usually put main menu or something like that in there, and then select create menu. And then over here on the left, the primary menu, you have to actually select that and then click on save. And then you can see we don't have any pages in here right now because we just deleted them all and we haven't added ours yet. So once we have some pages in there from the next step, we'll be able to add those to the menu over here. So for now, we'll just move on to configuring the couple different plugins. And the first one we want to do is go to plugins and then this FS contact form options here. This is your contact form, and we just want to scroll all the way down here to the section, the style section. You should see that. And here what we want to do is, instead of 375 pics, we want to put 100 and then % in there. And what that will do is just make the form adjust to the exact width of the browser that we have it in. So just go ahead and click update options after you've done that. And then one more plugin that we want to configure, and that's WYSIJA, our opt-in form that goes in the sidebar. And just go over here to WYSIJA and click on that. And actually we can go to WYSIJA and settings, and that should bring you to the screen. Just scroll down here and say thanks, now take me to WYSIJA. And then you should, let's see, we don't want the newsletter, we want to go to settings, so go ahead and click on that. And then go to subscription form here, and you should see subscribe to our newsletter. That should already be in there. Just click on that. We want to edit that. And you can see we have an email and subscribe button already, an email field and subscribe button. So what we want to do is add a first name field here. And then we also want to add some random text or instructions. So go ahead and drag that over there. And then what we're going to do is edit that. So we want to put our own text in there. So go ahead and highlight all of that and copy and paste some text in there. I had some ready, so I'm just going to paste it in there and click done, and that should show up there. So that'll be above the other two fields. And then if you want to, you can also change the subscribe button to say something else, like if you want to say sign up now. Whoops. And then make sure you say done there, and you can see the button changed. And then go ahead and make sure you save your settings after you're done. And that's it. We're finished configuring WordPress and our plugins, and we're finished with step number 2, so we're ready to move on to step number 3. Okay, so this is the third and final step for learning how to make a website. And in this step we're going to install and set up a theme, and we're actually going to do a parent and a child theme. We'll install those first, and then we'll import our data, all the images and text that we need, and then we'll configure our widgets last. So let's go ahead and get started with installing our themes. So we'll go to our dashboard. Remember, you go to your site name, whatever it is, mine's simplesamplesite.com, and then / WP admin, and you should come to the login screen, and it'll ask you to log in, and then you'll come to the dashboard here. And then we want to go to appearance and then themes, and we want to go to install themes up here. And what we're going to do, there's a repository of themes that we're going to search, so just type in responsive theme, or just responsive will do, and click on the search button. And that should be the first one that comes up here. All you have to do is click on install now. And then after it installs, don't click on anything. We don't want to activate it or anything like that. So what we want to do now is get a child theme, which I've created, that goes along with this theme. And the benefit of installing a child theme is that if you update this regular, the parent theme, it's called responsive, that we just installed, when you update that, any changes that were made to the child theme won't be affected. So it's nice to have a child theme so that anytime you update, the customizations you've made won't be affected. So you can download that by going to this URL right here, websitesmadesimple.org / responsive-theme-files. Now this is on my website, so you just have to go there to this. I'll put the URL down below in the resources section too, but if you go there, it should prompt you to download it, and just download it somewhere where you can find it. I usually put it on my desktop and go ahead and save it. And then what I'll do is go to my desktop, and here's that file I just downloaded, and I'm going to unzip it, and for some reason it goes back to that window. But here's the unzipped folder, and you can see this is the zipped version, that's the unzipped version. And then let's go ahead and go back here, and what we want to do now is install that child theme. So go to themes again, and then we want to go to install themes, and then instead of searching here, go to upload, and then we need to go choose that file. So on the desktop, go to that folder that we just unzipped, responsive theme files. It should be the same for you, and then double click on this .zip child theme and say install now, and that should install successfully. It should give you that little message right here, and then go ahead and activate this one. Alright, and you should see the responsive child theme right here, and then down below the parent theme is there as well. So we need to have both of those in there. And then what we want to do next is import our data. So let's go down here to Tools and then Import, and then go to WordPress, and then we need to choose the file that we want to import, and it's in that same folder, the .xml file here, responsive theme import.xml. Just double click that and then say upload file and import, and it will ask you who you want to assign the data to. Just select the user that you created when you installed WordPress. It should be available there in that drop down. I selected Todd, and make sure you check this box, download and import file attachments as well, and then click on submit, and it should do its thing, and it looks like it's all done. It didn't have any problems, so we're ready to move on to the next step. But before we go and configure the widgets in our sidebar, we want to install another plugin that I forgot to install, and it will allow us to display our social icons in the sidebar. So it's really important. We need to go grab that real quick. So go to plugins and add new, and then search for social media widget, it's called, and search plugins, and it should be the first one that comes up here. Click on install now. It'll ask you to confirm that. Go ahead and do that, and then click on activate plugin. And now we've got that installed, so let's go to configure our widgets. So go to appearance and then widgets. And we don't want all of these widgets that are in here. These aren't as important, so you can just drag these out of the way. We want to leave search in there, and we want to leave categories in there. And then we're going to add our own widgets. And the first one we're going to add is the Black Studio TinyMC. That's going to allow us to add an about the author widget in there. So what I'm going to do is paste some dummy text that I have on my clipboard, and you can get some of that yourself. Just search for it on the internet, and or put your own in there. And then we'll add some media here. We need to add an avatar. You should have this in there. Make sure the alignment is left, and then insert into post, and go ahead and save that. And then go ahead and close this since we're done with that. And the next one we're going to drag over here is the Wizija subscription, and we're going to put that right underneath the Black Studio. And we created a form before, so just make sure that's selected. You can retitle this if you want to. I'm going to leave that the same, and I'll just click save, and I'll close that since we're finished with that. And then we'll do the social media widget, which we just installed. And this is the title up here. It says follow us, and there are all kinds of different settings here. You can make the widgets different sizes. I'll just leave the default. And this animation type, I like the combo. It bounces and does some other stuff. And then I set this to 100% usually. And then we want to come down here to our networks, and we want to add our network. So I'm just going to put the URL for Facebook in there, and then I won't put, obviously I'm not putting my own profiles in there, and then it'll show the icon if I have these URLs in there, and we'll just leave it with that. Now let's put LinkedIn. Oops. And then we go down here to the bottom and save, and we can go ahead and close that. And the last one we need here is WordPress popular post. We'll put that right under social media widget, and we're gonna just leave the title the same, show up to 10 posts, and time range I always put all time, and sort post by comments, and then display post excerpt. And post type, we're going to get rid of page. We just want to rank the posts. And then down here, display post thumbnail, and we don't want comment count. And click on save, and that should allow us to set this to 50, and set both of those to 50. And then up here, I want to set this to 45. You can set it to whatever length you want, but you can change that there. And then go ahead and click on save, and after it saves we'll close this, and we're finished with configuring our widgets in the sidebar. And let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 widgets there. And why don't we go take a look at our site real quick and see what it's looking like. So to go visit our site, you can go up here in the upper left hand corner and go to visit site. Alright, and that's what our home page looks like for right now. You can see there's pretty much the default text in here, default headline and sub-headline and text down here and everything. Same with the image over here. So we're going to go in and change that, and first of all let's go change the order of this menu. So go over here and go to menus, and then we'll first of all make sure our header menu is set to main menu, and then we will want to just drag and drop these and put them in the exact order that we want them in. So I want home, blog, gallery, about, and contact. And after I've done that, just click over here on the right and save everything. and then we'll go back and look at the site and make sure those changes are reflected. Looks good, everything's in the right order. So then let's go change the headline and subheadline and all this text down here. So to do that, just go to Dashboard, and then go to Appearance and Theme Options, and then go down here to Home Page. And so the headline, you can see Hello World is the default headline. I'm going to say build a website, and then the subheadline, I'll show you how to build your own website. And I'm just copying and pasting that in. I have that on my clipboard. And then call to action. So this is where you want to direct them after they click on the button, basically. So you need a URL to redirect them to, and I'm just going to copy and paste that in there. And the call to action, I'm going to say start building. That's what you want them to do, the action that you want them to take. And then next, this is where the image is going to go. So you can put an image or a video here. And I know that I said there wasn't going to be any kind of coding, but I lied to you. Sorry about that. This is the only small bit of coding that you'll have to do, but it's very simple. You have an example here, or you can click on See Docs and it'll give you an example here. One example for an image, here's the exact code you can copy and paste in, or for a YouTube video you can copy and paste that in. So if you need those, they're right there. I'm going to copy and paste mine from this little text pad I have right here, and then I'll go ahead and save my options. And after we've completed that, we can go look at the site and see what it looks like now. And you can see this whole call to action box here, everything has changed, including the button and headline and everything, the image over here. So next we're going to go down here and change these 3 widget boxes. We're going to make them a little bit fancier and add a few things in there. So let's go do that. So in order to do that, we'll need to head back up here to our dashboard, or let's go to widgets directly. And you should be able to find the homepage widgets down here, homepage widget 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and open those up, and we're going to use Tiny Studio again, so drag that down here. And the first one we're going to do, we're going to put the guide, and then I'm going to copy and paste I'm going to go get my dummy text to paste in there. This is just some Latin that is typically used on websites, and you can go find some online pretty much anywhere. Lorem ipsum, just type that in and you'll be able to find it pretty easily. Go ahead and I pasted that in there, and then we're going to add some media. Now I've already got a few icons, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. I'll click on that, make sure it's align left, and then if I want to put a different URL in here, I can change the URL to, like, if I wanted to put simplesamplesite.com/guide, if I have my guide that I want to link to, and then I can insert that in, and then I'll go ahead and click save, and then let's go ahead and close that, and let's drag another one down here, another Tiny or Black Studio Tiny MCE, and this one we're going to do the blog, and I'll paste my text in there again, and we'll grab another icon here. We'll use this one for the blog, and align left, and if I want simple sample site, and I'll put blog, and that will take them directly to the blog if they click on that. And then I'll click save and close, and then we'll put one more for the gallery down here. So in the third widget area, I'll put the gallery and put my text in there again, and put your cursor there at the front of it, and I'll put my little icon in there. Alright, and insert into post. And I'm going to save that, and then I'll close. And then let's go back up here and click on visit site. And you can see now that we've got our new titles in there for each of these blog widget areas. And if they were to click on one of these, it would take them to the page, the blog page or the gallery page. I don't actually have a guide page, so we didn't click on that one, but you can see this is the blog page. We've got blog posts in there that we imported. We have all of our sidebars configured, or all of our widgets in the sidebar, I should say. About the author, subscribe to newsletter with their name and email. This is our social media widget, popular posts widget, and then categories down here. And then let's go check out the gallery page. The gallery looks good. We imported those images before. You can thumb through these or close it. And then let's go look at the about page. Pretty simple page, just about the author. And let's look at the contact page. So the contact page still needs a little bit of work. We can go work on that. We need to change this widget over here. So what we're going to do is put an address in there and a map, a Google map, so that if you're a business or something like that, they can find you. So let's go back to widgets. And the widget we need to work with is the right sidebar widget. And we're going to put, we're going to use Black Studio again. This is really handy. And let's put up at the top here contact information. Oops. And then what I'm going to do is copy and paste an address that I had just made up. Put that at the top there. And then I'm going to return once or twice there. And what we're going to do is take that address and we're going to go put it into Google Maps. I just paste it in here, and I'm going to get rid of the telephone number. And search in Google for that. It probably won't bring it up right away, so let's go here and go to Google Maps. And then what we want to do is click on this little link right here, and we want to grab this HTML embed code, but let's click on Customize first, and we're going to click on Custom here. And what we want to do is make it 100. We'll put 100% in there so that it will readjust to the width of whatever our browser is. And here we'll put 700 for the height. And then just click down here in the frame and do Control A, Control C. And then let's go back to our widget area. And we will, this is the visual, so we want to make sure we go to the HTML. And let's return again and just paste it in there. And then click Save. And then what we want to do is go check and see what that looks like. So we'll go to Visit Site and we'll go to Contact. And it looks like it's not showing up wide enough there for some reason. So let's go take a look at that again real quick. Go to Widgets and then to right sidebar and this one. And let's look at the width is only, it's saying 100, so it didn't get the percent in there. So just make sure you put a percent there for width and save. And it should be alright if we go look at it this time. And there we go, we've got a nice map in there along with our contact information. So the last thing that I can see we need to do is get rid of this admin bar. Actually, it doesn't show if you're not logged in, if the admin isn't logged in. So if I were to log out, that would disappear. But if you want to get rid of it, I'll show you how to do that, just in case you do. So go to Dashboard and go to Users, Your Profile. And under Your Profile, Show Toolbar when viewing site. So if I click that and then Update Profile, oops, it's gonna, I need to do that and get rid of, for some reason it leaves your password in here. Just take that out and update profile. And then what I like to do is right click here and say open a new tab, so that I have the website open in a tab here, and I have my dashboard open in a tab here. And then we can go look at our site, and you can see that we've gotten rid of that admin bar. So if you want to create a logo and put it up here, I will do another video that shows you exactly how to do that. It's a little drawn out process, but it's actually fairly simple, and you can do it with free tools. So I will put a link to that in the resources section down below. And it looks like that's it. Looks like our site is done. I hope you like it. It turned out really well. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I will put a link in the resources down below to our forum, and you can ask any questions that you have there, and I'd be happy to answer them for you. And one last thing before you go, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. I will be creating more videos like this in the near future, so you'll be notified of those when they come out. And then also leave a comment or a like down below, and that will give me some feedback and let me know if I need to change anything. Also, if you leave a comment, I can answer any questions that you have. So go ahead and do that, and I'd appreciate it. Thanks.